Hey, fellas, welcome back. May
Dollars.
17th, 2021. We're
It's
here.
Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
We're
It's a
back.
beautiful Monday though.
They said we couldn't do it. Week
They
2.
said they stood at the top of their hill and
What are you
pounded on
doing
their
up
chest
there?
and they said the fellas they maybe could do week 1 of the show, but there's no way they could do week 2. That's what they said. They
Get,
told us all along. They
get down
said
from that
week 1
rock.
maybe. They said week 1 maybe. Maybe. Week 2 not a chance in hell. But here we are, week 2, day 1. We're here and we're ready.
Get down from that
And we have
rock.
things to talk
We
about.
got some
And we
stuff
have
to
things to
talk
talk
about.
about. There's the weekend. The weekend happened.
That gives us a lot of things.
That's more than one day to talk about things. That's
Not only that, but a pretty major weekend in terms of sports and sporting playoffs. A lot of things going
yeah. I
on.
mean, I guess.
You know, you could
I guess
say.
it's cool stuff. Playoff stuff.
You could say little Minnesota boy had a happy day.
I live in
Like
Minnesota. Boy, had a happy big day. Oh.
a win in the playoffs.
Dude, the NHL was crazy yesterday.
Yeah. It's every
For
game was like
just
mind blowing.
like I man that the Lightning Panthers game, the little bit that I caught of it, probably like half the game was absolutely. So you remember watching that game last night, right?
Yeah, I
And the
fell
Panthers
asleep
broke.
before the end, but I saw the Lightning won. I was like,
The
wow.
Lightning ended up coming back and scoring 2 in the third and then winning, which is that game was crazy.
Yeah, it's
Also, the fans were going nuts.
great to have him back.
Great atmosphere.
Great atmosphere.
Uh no, yes, I was a pretty happy camper yesterday. Yeah, it's a little 1-0 OT win in a game that we should not have won at all. We got piss pounded for a little while.
Yeah,
But
but
hey,
none the
Cam
pucks went in the
Talbot,
goal.
Cam Talbot said 0 goals on 42 shots.
Insane.
0. We're gonna lose 6-0 the next game, but it's fine. Just to even things out.
That's how it goes.
Okay. Basketball playoffs are set.
Yes, finally.
Finally, Jesus.
Seems like
And
we
the
were
Knicks got the
bouncing
Knicks
over here,
got
bouncing
the
over
Knicks.
there.
Oh my gosh, Sean, the
Yeah.
most beautiful thing happened.
There's a lot
Not
of
only are the
beautiful
Six,
things.
not only are the Knicks the 4 seed, but the Hawks fell in the 5 seed. So now we get to watch Milwaukee and Heat, and we get to watch Knicks Hawks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do.
That was like
Yeah,
the
we
perfect
do.
storm. That was literally the most
Um,
perfect situation that could have happened.
yeah. This whole thing is pretty crazy. So I guess we'll start over in the East, which I feel
Yeah.
like that all the attention in the East is really down at the 7 through 10 seed. A little bit of the action, but that was like the main results we were waiting on. Because the
I
one,
mean, that's
so,
a sick first playoff game.
yeah. So Sixers finally clinched. They clinched with their win over the Magic. Finished with a 49-23 record. They're just killing it. They're cruising. The Nets got the number 2. The Bucks were close. They were right there, and then they couldn't finish it in the end. They finally had their big 3 going, which was exciting to see. Bucks land in the 3 seed, about where everyone expected them to finish. Giannis is playing basketball, etc., etc. They'll
Giannis is
probably
playing basketball.
they'll probably win in the first round, probably lose or something. It's
I
the
don't know, man. They
Bucks.
got the
I'm
Heat.
not. I'm never too excited about the Bucks. I don't know. It seems like it's in the same thing for a while now. The Knicks, though, what you were saying, very exciting. Knicks in the 4 seed. If you manage
That's.
to have money on that somehow, congratulations on the cash
I
out.
wonder. I wonder what the odds were to go into the
Even just to
season
make
for
the
the
playoffs.
Knicks to be like a top 4 seed.
I bet,
Oh, even to make the playoffs,
yeah,
it had to have been like plus money.
yeah.
And then on top of it, to put them like in the 4 seed or like a top 4 seed. Oh
Mm.
my god, I can't even imagine what the odds were.
Or
Because no one saw
over
that shit
40
coming.
wins would probably have been like.
Oh yeah,
So right
it would have
behind
been
them
a
is the
lot.
Hawks too, which I feel like
Is also
yeah,
not
like that
was not
just kind
supposed
of
to happen.
happened, and everyone was like, "Yeah, let's get it, Hawks." And a 41-31, same record as the Knicks. They
Well, it's
just
weird
had,
because the Hawks were like really bad, and people were like, "Yeah, that's what we were expecting." And then they went on a win streak, and people were like, "Yeah, that's
yeah,
what
that's
we were
what we
expecting." Like,
yeah.
oh, okay, like, oh, okay.
We know this team will be either pretty good or pretty bad.
Yeah, this
Somewhere
team's
in the
either gonna
middle.
be, yeah, this team's gonna be really good or really bad, or somewhere in the middle in some level. Called
You
it.
know, yeah. So, but Trey's been cruising. I mean, it's
These
interesting. I
matchups are
don't
so
think.
cool.
Yeah, I don't see them being able to come close to the Knicks though.
Not in a 7 game series. I think they're
Yeah,
just gonna
they
wear them
won't get.
down.
I don't think they'll get swept, but
The Hawks will probably get hot from three a couple games though, and it's gonna be tough for the Knicks to hold them back.
so that's the
But
first
these
matchup we
matchups
have
are going
locked
to be
in.
so sick.
Yeah,
Like
Heat
even the
Bucks.
net. Hopefully, honestly, like I don't think they do, but hopefully the Celtics. Actually, honestly, either way, because it's either Celtics Nets or Wizards Nets,
Yeah,
which is both
yeah.
an awesome matchup. Wizards Nets would be sick because I think the Wizards could actually take that. They're the only team that matches
Yo,
the
if
Nets
the
style of running offense heavy. And if it
do
just
you
becomes a
realize?
shootout of like 140 to 140,
Okay, but do you realize what would happen if Russell Westbrook beat Katie and Harden? I think the Earth would
and
just.
Gary,
Yeah, but like specifically
yeah, specifically
Katie and
those two.
Harden. Harden kicked him out of Houston, then left. He broke up the band. He tried to reunite it once. KD already broke up the band and said, I want to bring a band back together, but we don't need that bass player, Russell Westbrook. We'll just have a guitar and a drummer. But now they could potentially match up, and Russ could potentially get his revenge after leading the league in assists for the regular season.
And
Congrats,
breaking the
Russell.
triple double record.
And that
Breaking
too,
the triple.
but not as important. He's an assistant.
Um, I'm suddenly very excited and very much want to watch the Nets Wizards series.
Yeah, as if I need another reason to want the Celtics to lose. Come on, Wiz.
If the Wizards upset the Nets, which I honestly think could happen, I don't think it's like a good chance because I do think the Nets are very, very, very good. But if there's one team I see right now between the 6 and the 10 seed that could beat the Nets in a 7 game series, the only one I would even put a little bit of money on are the Wizards. I'm not doing the Celtics because they get fucking killed right now.
Yeah.
The Heat, I don't think they beat the Nets. Pacers, no. Hornets, no. Wizards are the only team that can run offensively with them. Now, defensively, they struggle, but if this just becomes a shootout series of like a bunch of games that are 130 to 140,
Yeah,
I think it favors the Wizards a little bit.
yeah. And if as soon as one guy on the Nets maybe can't play,
Yeah.
because I mean,
Something one big three guy.
something tells me, not all three of them are playing through the whole series. I just
No.
when was the last time you saw something like that happen? Where they actually come on.
Where they actually had all their best players. I don't know.
Come on.
It's been a minute. All I know is if Harden's on the floor, their chances dramatically go up.
Yeah, he's sick.
He seems to very much
beast.
be a piece of their puzzle that they need. Their record with and without him is crazy.
No, he is probably in terms of individual like impact of a dude on the court.
Like what as far as like how much they bring to the team kind of
Yeah,
thing?
literally just being able to like, okay, I will. You guys don't feel that's fine. I'll drop 60. Like he does that all the time.
I'll drop 60, or if I'm having an off game, I'll get 22 assists.
Right.
I feel like it.
I mean, I think by now he's pretty much. I mean, definitely the greatest scorer we've seen. I think you definitely make the case all.
I mean, him and Steph are just like so far beyond everyone. I feel like.
Yeah.
Steph gets a scoring title.
He sure does.
And
Beats
LeBron
out Beal.
And LeBron tries to tell us that he should be the MVP, which I don't
go ahead,
know.
put some money on it.
Yeah.
That'll go
ahead,
in
LeBron.
my Jokic pocket.
Yeah, go ahead, LeBron. Go
We're
ahead
getting
and
ready.
go ahead and yeah, Steph Curry for MVP. Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Hey, put your school on it, LeBron. How about that?
that's
Yeah,
good
there's a good
advice.
bet. Yeah, put
Gamble
your
your
money where your mouth
school.
is. Yeah.
Take your school and bet
If
that.
you really mean it. If you
Yo, but he would
really
win
mean
like
it.
11 schools if he won. He would win an entire school district.
Imagine he puts on school, he wins an entire school district for it. All right, the Western Conference.
Oh yeah. Just in case it was,
Adam Silver's
I just
pissed. Adam
did we
Silver's pissed.
Celtics Wizards is the first play-in matchup, and then Pacers Hornets
Oh
is
yeah,
the second.
we kind of just
Uh,
breezed right through that.
Heat fall to 6. That's about it. Winner of Celtics
So
Wizards will play
we
the
got
Nets.
Bucks Heat, Knicks Hawks. Yeah, this is gonna
Okay.
be good. I like the East. I like
The
the way it's
West.
shaped up.
We
It's
have the
kind of where I
graphic.
wanted it to
The
go.
West.
Ooh, the graphic. Huh?
The Yaz. They get out of there with the 1 seed. That 52-20 Utah Jazz. Pretty crazy. I don't know why I didn't think it would happen.
Why do I feel like the top three teams in the West are not even close to the top three teams in the West?
I think
Jazz, Suns, Nuggets, and no three like all three of those do not sound
the
confident.
Suns.
Even the
I feel
Clippers
like
at
the
four.
Suns would be the third best team. Maybe, I don't know. But actually, it's insane. And I also think it's interesting the Nuggets made it up to 3 because they were like, what, 6 about a month ago. I remember that's why everyone was saying, yeah, Jokic can't win MVP. Their seed's too low. He's not a top 3 seed. And they got it. They climbed, I think, out of a pretty deep hole. So that's pretty cool, them ending up at 3. Yeah, I don't think anyone would have ever called Utah, Phoenix, and Denver.
No. So take 1 through 6 and shake them up and put them back in there. I still think the playoffs look sick. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 through 6 could totally be scrambled, and it would make total sense. Like the Jazz could be 6 right now, and I'd be like, okay. Like all 6 of those teams are like can beat each other in a 7-game series. I don't think I can pull one of those teams and be like, yeah, they're definitely gonna win a 7-game series against blank. Like none of these teams, I'm like, all these, every single one, I think can lose
1 through
4
6
games in a 7-game series.
They make no sense, and it's impossible to figure out like who's gonna do
and
what.
And then if you look at the Lakers and Warriors,
you look at the play-in. If you said at the beginning of the season, the Warriors are gonna be 3 games back from the Lakers, and then the Grizzlies are gonna be 1 game back from the Warriors, and they're all gonna be in the play-in tournament. Like, no, it makes no sense, and I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited that Portland managed to stay at that 6th seed and keep the Lakers down there.
I did not want them. Yeah, I did not want them.
Now they have to do some work. Now they actually have to play some basketball, huh? Let's do it,
Adam
boys.
Silver is not a happy camper today.
He's in shambles. Whatever, dude. You just get another game of LeBron playing. Like, get over it. You're going to just make another $1 billion. Come on.
But what if Lakers or Warriors end up getting knocked out?
Yo,
I feel like he'd much rather have the Warriors knocked out, but
oh yeah, for sure.
Well, like if the Lakers can't beat the Warriors, but one's on a 5-game winning streak and the other one's on a 6-game winning streak.
No, if they can't beat the Warriors and then they can't beat the Grizzlies or the Spurs, then they should not be in the playoffs.
Hey man, if it's the Grizzlies sitting in that second play-in game, if it's somehow the Grizzlies and not the Spurs,
it could be.
I don't know, man.
I think it should be.
The Grizzlies are a very good team.
Frankly, the Spurs do not deserve to be in the playoffs.
No. The Pelicans should very well be there if the injuries didn't happen.
I just don't think a team that's like, I get it. Like Grizzlies makes sense because they're 1 game out of there. The Spurs are like a week out of there. They're not. I don't know.
It doesn't. It definitely does not feel like the Spurs should be there. However, they've been load managing lately, so I don't think their record really reflects.
They've had that spot locked for a while.
They've been sitting in that 10 spot for a while now, so they haven't had much to play with. I mean, they're 5 games back of the Grizzlies, and they've dropped their last 4, and they're still 2 games clear of the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a team that was trying to like maximize their wins right now. They knew their spot. They knew, rest DeMar, rest who we have to.
All right, but as far as matchups
I didn't even see Rondo in here. Rondo is sitting in here. I love Sean's mic. He's a pro playing tournament.
Let's go.
Fire adds value to the last 5 to 10 games this season. Oh, Rondo's a fan of the play-in tournament. He likes it. Honestly, I did not like it in the beginning. I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid. I was like, we're not a COVID season anymore. Can we not be doing this stuff? But how it's shaped up with the Lakers playing the Warriors, and then the other side with like the Wizards being a dominant force all of a sudden, playing the Celtics who are hurt, like, it's definitely ended up the right way.
I will say,
like, for a play-in tournament, this was the best way to end it.
It's definitely, especially in the West here, it's so interesting.
I mean, it's such a big deal in the West. You have the two of like basically the dominant teams in the West lately playing each other for a play-in game. Adam Silver's shitting himself.
I will say,
now.
I've also liked the play-in tournament a lot more now that we've had to talk about the sports every day.
Yeah, it does. It gives you something like, it is something in the NBA that makes it exciting.
Yeah.
And normally around this time, the NBA is not that exciting.
I honestly think my biggest thing with it, like what I was just saying, I don't know if the Spurs should be in it. I think you've got to, like, just what happened with when they did it for the COVID season, where, what was it? You had to be within a certain number of games, or else the 7-8 seed would just get set.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you should ever be at a disadvantage for having a better record than a team. But if it's really that close, and especially over such a long season where so many dudes get injured, I do like giving like teams that are coming on a quick streak coming up, give them an opportunity to knock some top dogs down, get a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah. I really do wish the Pelicans would have been in the Spurs seed. I think that was like the one.
Yeah, me too.
Miss that we've seen.
I think
the East, everything happened. Yeah, I think the East, everything happened how it should have. Maybe the Bulls and the Hornets switch, just because the Bulls I feel like have more potential to try and make a deeper run. But yeah, the West is pretty much the same besides Pelicans and Spurs.
Matchup wise,
but man,
Clippers Mavericks. Come on, isn't that what we all want to see? Clippers and the Mavs. Don't we want to see playoff P and Luka going at it?
These matchups are nuts. Like, okay, so Jazz plays probably the Warriors. The Warriors or the Lakers. Let's assume the Warriors. I don't know if they win that 7-game series.
If the Jazz beat the Warriors, me neither, dude.
I don't know. Now let's look at Suns. Suns are either taking on the Lakers or the Warriors, let's assume.
The Suns are absolutely taking on the Lakers or the Warriors.
I don't know. The Suns definitely beat the Warriors, I think. I don't know if the Suns beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. I could see the Lakers taking it.
Yeah.
Healthy Lakers.
I mean, the Lakers are very, very good. And they have LeBron and they have AD, and they haven't for a minute now. And the Suns, I also feel like, I mean, obviously
they've struggled on the road. They've really struggled on the road.
And I feel like, it's actually similar to the Jazz. I feel more confident in the Nuggets over the Jazz and the Suns, just because, like, Jokic is going to come out and be that guy. I don't know if you, like, I want to say, like, obviously Utah has Mitchell, but I don't know if he's always, like, he's not always on, like, Jokic's, and I could see them losing to the Warriors as a result, and similarly with the Suns. Like, obviously, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are incredible players, but, like, you have to keep up with LeBron and AD for 7 games.
Yeah, and you're undersized.
Yeah.
Like, you're just undersized.
And I do get the advantage with the 2 seed, but I don't know how much it'll help. I would love to see him win, though. I would love to see, frankly, the Lakers and the Warriors get kicked out by Utah and Phoenix. Like, I think that would be a lot of fun. Like, give me the smallest markets. Give me the
give me a small market NBA playoff. Yeah, like, I would love it. Also, that Clippers Mavs series is going to be
I'm so excited
intense.
for Clippers
It's going to be
Mavs.
exciting. And Trailblazers Nuggets is going to be even better, I feel like, because you have one
So
team that's just
good.
hot as shit, and then you just have Jokic sitting on the side, like, all right, here we go.
He's just gonna body dudes, and Dame's just gonna be sniping from the top of a
Oh my God.
skyscraper. It's gonna
Dame's
be
going to
amazing.
be shooting from 40 feet all series long because he wants to.
Speaking of that, imagine Trey's just gonna be chucking up.
Trey is going to shoot 35 times a game
He will shoot one
across 7
shot
games.
from behind the half court line, just because. I promise, at some point
He takes one.
gonna,
I guarantee he takes one from the logo.
I mean,
At some point in the series, he takes one from the logo.
Dude's insane, and he probably hit it too.
He probably will.
So
Man, I hope the Knicks make a deep run.
Be a lot of fun, man.
All right, if you have to pick one team from the East and one team from the West to make a surprising Eastern Conference Finals showing,
surprise
or in Western Conference,
so
and surprise Western.
I think that the most likely team to make a surprise run in the East is gonna have to either be the Heat or the Wizards.
Yeah.
Because I think the Heat can beat the Bucks, and then they have to play. They would play the winner of
1-16.
I suppose it'd be.
It'd be the Knicks, right?
They'd have to play. Yeah, so they'd have to play the Knicks. So then by then they only got one more series to win. They could beat the Knicks, and then. So
wait, no, it wouldn't be the Knicks, would it?
They would have to play the Nets probably.
The Nets, because the Knicks have to play the Sixers.
Right, so they would probably have to play the Nets. No, would they play the Sixers? I don't know. But either way,
I'm confused.
They could win that first round. I think they could beat the Bucks. I think they have a deeper roster than the Bucks.
Yeah.
And then after that, who knows? They went to the finals last year, so I could see that. And then in the West, I think the Trailblazers have me convinced right now. I think normally, I love the team, super fun players, but I never am convinced going into the playoffs. I'm kind of convinced on them right now. I could see them beating anyone in the West in 7 games. It won't be easy. It won't, and they might not, but I could see it happening.
I could. I don't know who my West team is. I think East. I think you're right with the Heat. I think the Heat is probably mine, just because they've been on a tear lately. Oladipo missing does hurt them a lot, but I mean, they have so much other, and we've seen them do this before. Like when it's playoff time, that team, and they've even been shown they've won 8, they're past 10. Like it's playoff time. It's playoff time for them. Like they're ready. In the West, I think besides the obvious Lakers, that is sitting in the 7th seed.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if it's that big of a surprise if they do make it, just because they've been banged up. Now they're going to come to the playoffs like super healthy. Damn. It's got to be the Trailblazers, right?
I think so. I mean,
which sucks because if the Trailblazers were playing anyone else, I'd probably have them going further. Like, if the Trailblazers, I think the Trailblazers either get first rounded or they make a deep run.
Because like
the Nuggets are definitely going to be tough to get past. Yeah,
it's probably the toughest game they'll have to play, at least until like semifinals.
Because for some reason, I'm much more confident in the Nuggets than I am Jazz.
Me too.
And I shouldn't be.
You just know that Jokic is just going to be that guy.
Which is absurd. Imagine if Jamal Murray was playing right now.
I know. It's very
they're
upsetting.
a 3 seed, and already people are like, they might be the strongest team in the West, and they don't have their.
It's upsetting. It really is unfortunate.
I hate NBA injuries. It can really ruin fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, more NBA. Curry got the scoring title.
Curry got scoring title.
Congrats.
LeBron wants him to win MVP for some reason.
He dropped 46 points in the last game. That was his 11th 40-point game this season. He didn't even play the whole thing.
That's gross.
That's
I
nasty.
hate that he can just like flip on a switch and be like, yeah, today I'm gonna drop 40
He's
plus.
insane.
And then the next day he's be like, no, I'm only gonna score 18 today. And then he'll come back and be like, okay, today I feel like scoring 50 now.
Just some fun little facts. He's the second oldest player to win a scoring title. First is 97-98 Jordan. And then the only players to win multiple scoring titles, multiple MVPs, and multiple championships. That list is Jordan, Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Steph Curry.
So you're saying the company is like okay? I guess it's like okay company. I guess. I mean, I've heard of bigger names before, but
trophies, trophies don't mean anything, bro. But multiple do.
I'm trying to figure out how these NBA playoffs work and like who would play each other. For some reason, I feel like no one knows because I can't find any information on it either. All these brackets are just like up in the air.
Wait, shout out to Clint Capella. Most rebounds.
Really?
Good for him. Very proud of my boy Clint.
You know, the Hawks actually could be pretty good. Clint Capella just came off. Cam Reddish is coming off injury. Trae Young is there, heating up. I'm really glad that they play the Knicks first, though, because I feel like the Knicks can beat them.
Yeah, they can.
And then I'll be very excited. I think, man, I cannot figure it out. Oh, well. Okay, so we talked some NBA playoffs.
Another little milestone hit. Kyrie had some impressive shooting splits this year. He's in the 50-40-90 club.
50-40-90.
50.6% from the field, 40.2% from three, and 90.2% from the foul line.
If only he would have played more games.
Yeah, over 54 games, unfortunately.
That is impressive stat line though. He's on this year.
Who else has done it? Larry Bird did it twice. Mark Price, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash did it 4 times. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess those are okay.
Dirk did it once. KD did it once. Steph did it once. Brogdon was the last one to do it in 18-19. So,
I mean, I guess it's Elite Company. Like I said, I guess I recognize some of those names.
That's Brogdon.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I was looking through all the basketball stuff.
Good for him.
Kevin Garnett actually gave the Timberwolves a shout out in his Hall of Fame speech.
No, he did.
Thank you, KG. Yes, he did.
He acknowledged their existence.
He acknowledged the Timberwolves' existence, which
things are turning around.
We'll take it. Yeah. A-Rod owns the team now. KG acknowledges that we exist. Things are really looking up for the state of Minnesota basketball.
Wow.
Besides the whole relocating thing and our players don't want to play.
It's looking up because they're gonna take the team away. That'll be the most positive thing to happen in a while.
That'll be the best thing to ever happen to the Timberwolves in Minnesota is the day that they leave. I'll probably shed a tear of sadness, just be like, wow, there goes that team. But then the left ear will shed a tear of sadness, and the right eye will shed a tear of joy. I can promise you. It's just kind of like a relief thing. Like all the weight lifted off your shoulders of just like, wow, I don't have to own the worst franchise in the history of sport franchises. Like it's no longer on me. It's someone else's problem now.
I'm gonna be a lot happier these days.
I'm gonna be a lot happier to say. More. I feel like I can laugh again as soon as they leave. I feel like I can laugh again. No, screw that team. That team is disrespectful to the states that they're in. They're a waste of space and talent, and they always have been, besides KG in the 1 year that we had Jimmy.
Wasn't that fun?
But we traded away a future Jimmy Butler in Zach LaVine to get Jimmy Butler for 1 year. So, and draft picks. It's fine.
That is one of the most confusing thing that I think happens in the NBA all the time. Are the sign in trades when or the trade and sign or the
It
instead
was
of
such
doing
a
it.
it was such a shot in the dark to try and make a contender team with one player, and I don't know what in their right mind made them
But
think that
one
just
player
giving
that's going to be
Jimmy.
a free agent. That's always like.
Exactly. It's like one thing if he got signed by the Nets this year, and like that's a 1 year, and they just maximize all they can to try and get a 1 year and go win the title.
Right.
But the Timberwolves were not in a freaking spot to win the title that year. And there's no way, unless you're going to give Jimmy a max contract, which if you weren't planning to, why would you sign him there in the first place and then argue with him about not giving him his max contract?
I
Give
don't
it to
know.
two other players.
Don't
It's
know.
just such a stupid thing to do. And then in the process, you traded away the one person on your team that actually plays defense for another person when I don't know, man.
All right.
And Zach LaVine, we could have easily signed him.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah, you could have. Yeah.
All right.
Before it gets
NHL.
too heated.
Before I get mad about my freaking basketball, because basketball's stupid. We should probably take a break, huh?
Yeah, we can kick it to a break. Quick couple minutes. We'll come back with some hockey talk.
Hit him with that dope ass beat, Shawnee D.
Oh.
Benzos, whipping, fucking a bitch in the kitchen.
Rubicon Jeep, I stay off-roading. Boy, never sleep, might need to reload it. If it's a rock, I'm a buck, I'ma know it. Everything you need in my suck magnolia.
All right, fellas, we're back.
Fellas.
Hockey time.
Hockey. It's motherfucking hockey time. Gonna take that stick, go da da da, and go bar down top titty. Oh God. All right.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear my voice. Don't like that.
Okay.
Hockey playoffs have officially started, and boy, what an opening weekend with Stanley Cup playoffs. Honestly,
It was
very,
exciting
very,
hockey.
very entertaining, very fun to watch hockey. Even the not exciting games were very exciting. To start things off, on Saturday, we had our first playoff game between the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals. Great game. Went to OT. Washington Capitals take care of business. Boston Bruins, they are the higher seed, even though they were not favored to win that game. A couple injuries to the Capitals, and people are riding high on Boston. We VIP, shout out VIP, fellas VIP, big shout out. Less than $1 a day for VIP picks.
Just check out HeyFellas.com.
VIP picks. Yeah, did have Washington Capitals at that game. That was our only hockey play of that day. But yeah, great start. It was a great game. It was really fun to watch back and forth. And then we went into yesterday, Sunday, where the Pittsburgh Penguins took on the New York Islanders. And as I've said before, this East Division is a high-powered, very talented division. All teams in that division are literally Stanley Cup contenders. And I did throw shade on New York Islanders. I said maybe the one team in the East, they are not the contender. But guess what the New York Islanders did game one? They go into Pittsburgh, where they have been dominant all year. Pittsburgh is a very good home team. And the Islanders go into Pittsburgh. They drop down. They're trailing 2-1. They're trailing 3-2. They just refused to go away, kept scoring, and in OT scored an unbelievable goal at an unbelievable angle.
Insane stuff.
So that game was really interesting because goalies were making saves that they should not be making, but then letting in goals that they should not be letting in. Like the 2 or 3 goals that Jari did let in, they were pretty soft. But then also he was making saves that you should just not be able to make. Like it should not be humanly possible to make some of those saves. So New York gets a game up on Pittsburgh. Washington gets a game up on Boston. And the highlight of my day, the highlight of my month, maybe the highlight of my year, maybe for sports. Man. It might be the highlight of my year for sports. Honestly, that might be the best thing to happen to Minnesota sports, and it would spend one game in the playoffs. The Minnesota Wild got absolutely shit on. Shan Cannon, top titty, bar down cheddar, should have been the whole damn game. It was bad. But Cam motherfucking Talbot is his name. Learn his name. Study the name. This man used to play for the Rangers. He was an okay goalie. He was a backup for most of his life. He started in some other places, and then he gets to the Wild, and this man turns into a fucking brick wall. A brick wall.
How many shots?
42 shots on this man.
How many goals?
From one of the best offensive teams in the game. 42 shots, 0 goals.
Come on now.
The Wild go into OT, go into Vegas where they have 9,000 fans. They get canned the first period, 20-5 after the first period in shots, 0-0. 32-14 or whatever after the second period in shots, still 0-0. Whatever the shots were at the end of the third, still 0-0. And what do? Minnesota hangs around in an OT, gets down there, and just gets Marc-Andre Fleury going one way. That Marc-Andre Fleury glove yesterday, by the way, was the most nuts thing I've ever seen. This man flashed that glove so many times, robbed so many goals. But the one time where he thought, little Minnesota Wild, little Mr. Hartman was going to go right, he slid to the right, and Hartman said, psych, I'm going stick side. Game over 1-0. Also, golden goal rule, I wish a lot more sports would develop. I think that is so cool to just play OTs until someone scores.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I do enjoy the regular season 3-on-3 in OT. That's a lot of fun because it's really fast, and there's always like wide open goals, but it ends really fast. Playoff OT is nuts because it can literally go for 60 minutes. Someone just scores at the end. And then what other game was there yesterday? Oh, obviously the Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers. Sean, we watched part of this game together.
Yeah.
That was an insane game.
Yeah. And with the part we did see, I was shocked the Lightning man pulled away with that one.
From what we watched, because we did not watch most of the third period.
Yeah, we saw like the first
second part. Yeah. What a crazy, just back and forth. Everyone scoring. The goalies were, even though that game ended 5-4, that game should have been 10-12. Those shots, the saves, it was just nonstop.
Continuation of the Islanders game. It just felt like, and we're back at it.
And here we go again. Like every single attack you watched, you were like, this might be a goal. Yeah. This might be a goal. Now, a lot of like that Southern Division is a very toss-up division. And I said that from the beginning. Florida is the higher seed, but Tampa Bay is also like one of the most talented teams in the NHL. And Nikita Kucherov, just came back, and his last game, I didn't realize it was that long. I thought it was like November or something. Nikita Kucherov's last game was September 28th.
Wow.
One of their best players last game was September 28th.
That's
He
a
scored
long
2 goals
ago.
last night. He scored 2 goals last night. You haven't played in, hang on, September to October, October to November, November to December, December to January, January to February, February to March, March to April, April. This man hasn't
That's
played in
that
over half a
many.
year. This man
This
hasn't
many.
played in after half a year. And he just comes out in the first
Wow.
game against one of the hottest teams in NHL and nets 2 of them. Man, that's the power of Kucherov and Stamkos.
It's
That's what
insane.
happens when you get. That's what happens when you get your 2 best players back.
Always
That's
does
seriously
help.
gonna be. And tonight we've got even better. Like, oh man, NHL playoffs, man. If you're not a fan of the NHL, but you're a fan of sports, you need to watch the NHL playoffs. It's absolutely electric. Honestly, all sports.
One of the best playoffs to watch.
I honestly
don't
think.
like hockey.
I think maybe the step up from regular hockey to playoff hockey isn't the best jump in sports because there are other sports like playoff
Yeah, but
baseball
that
can
just
play.
means that the regular season's worse.
See, it's just more. Yeah, it's just more exciting. Like if you take, let's say, baseball, like the regular season, obviously not fun at all. Playoff baseball is very fun to watch. Those guys care a lot. NBA regular season, like yeah, it's okay to watch. NBA playoffs, a lot of fun to watch. NHL is already very exciting to watch, and when these guys take it up another level, it is like we saw how 20 fights in the Florida Tampa Bay game, and we didn't even watch the whole third period.
Yeah.
Like these guys do not like each other. They care. They absolutely despise each other. Like this is some serious bad beef across NHL. People don't like each other when their season is on the line.
No, they do not.
No, they do not. Not in the NHL, man. It is. These guys are mean. Mean. But yeah, NHL playoffs is going to be a good one. I'm very excited. The North is tonight, which, man, what a bunch of terrible teams sitting there. But I'm excited to see how it goes because the North, there's going to be a weird team that comes out of there.
You think?
I don't think it can be Toronto. I don't think they're good enough.
It's gonna have to be something that makes less sense.
I feel like it does because I've talked shit on this division the whole time. This division's not good. It's Toronto and Montreal and Edmonton and Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a 3 seed, which they shouldn't even be in the damn playoffs. They're barely over 500. It just doesn't make any sense. And the East team is winning the Stanley Cup. If it's not the Wild, of course.
There you go.
If it's not the Wild, then an East team will win the Stanley Cup. But it's probably going to be the Wild because we're the best.
Let's go. Let's go Wild, baby.
Man, that game yesterday. Whew. I was quiet too. Normally I coach up the boys. I'm normally in like on the couch being the assistant coach, and trust me, they do need me. I do help, but yesterday I was
hired this man.
I was quiet as a church mouse, as some may say, watching that game. That was an intense one. I watched my team get absolutely pummeled for 60 minutes straight, and then somehow come away with an OT win.
Impressive.
Go Wild.
Wild Dan.
Games tonight: Blues Avalanche should be a good matchup. Avalanche getting all the money. Interesting. Hurricanes Predators, another good matchup, and then we get Game 2 of Capitals Bruins.
Ooh,
they're all gonna be great. All gonna be great games. God, if you do not watch the NHL playoffs, tune in, please. Just watch one period. It is electric. These guys are nuts. Electric stuff.
Electric slide.
We have more stories to talk about. There was more things that happened over this weekend.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the NFL.
There's a lot. The NFL was popping this weekend.
They are just begging
what is
for
going
attention
on
over there. I'll tell you. I don't know what's going on, but they will not just calm down and let other sports happen.
Let's start with a little injury news. Deshaun Hamilton, Denver Broncos wide receiver, tears his ACL away from the facility. A non-football injury, I believe, or maybe it was a workout injury.
I'm not sure. This one has not. Oh, Hamilton he was away from the team's facility. Yes.
Okay.
This one's particularly unfortunate.
It's a
though.
workout away from the.
Yeah. For Hamilton, he was supposed to be traded essentially in like a couple days. They wanted to cut ties with him, held off on waiving him because there was a lot of interest in trading for him from other teams. So, and he would have made a team. He would have been on a deal, and now he has an ACL tear away from the team facility, which means they don't care at all. It's pretty unfortunate.
I know he's done. Also, breaking news: if anyone just saw, Ryan Kerrigan does join the Eagles.
Yes, he does.
In a much-needed move for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, he does. This is huge for the Birds. This is exactly the kind of thing that makes sense that we might want to do once in a while, huh, guys? Doesn't it feel good to do something that makes sense? God, who cares?
I'm a little upset because the Vikings were supposed to land him. He was the favorite spot, or we were the favorite spot for him to land for a while now, even dating back to last season when we had Kyle Rudolph and Harrison Smith, and we were trying to trade them away. That's when we were supposed to get Ryan Kerrigan. But he's now with the Eagles, which makes me upset a little bit. But
he's a big dog.
He is all-time sacks leader.
Dog.
Football team all-time sacks leader.
He's a big dog.
Other news: New York Giants Kadarius Toney did drills shoeless the other day.
Okay, buddy. Have fun with that.
Because of wrong cleat sizes.
No way.
Yeah, he someone got his cleat size wrong, or his like right foot wrong, and he just started doing the drills barefoot.
I think he's got some like maybe different size feet or something. Cause how do you mess up on that? I feel like how do you mess up? Also, like, you don't just bring your own cleats?
I think they did the wrong size, just figuring it out now. I ended up getting it eventually. The session was over. So he just did the first couple drills. Interesting. But it was one rather than the other. Like one fit and the other one didn't.
Wow.
All right.
Cool. That's a wacky one. Speaking of the Giants, though, we've heard about big man coming back. Another retired football player coming back to switch to tight end potentially.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Tim Tebow now. We're talking about Kelvin Benjamin. With the Golden Corral MVP.
That one makes sense. That one actually makes a little bit of sense.
This makes a ton of sense.
Because Kelvin Benjamin could have easily been a tight end back in the Kelvin Benjamin borderline probably should have been a tight end actually.
He's 6'5".
He's a monster.
And the last time he played, he was 245, and that was when he was trying to play receiver. So imagine this dude playing tight end, because he can lay dudes down. He can put dudes in the dirt, and then he can catch. He played, I get it. We can all make fun of him because he played receiver and he got fat. I get all that. But at the end of the day, dude had, in his first 3.5 seasons with the Panthers, he was cruising for 1,000 yards a season. Good. He had 18 touchdowns with the Panthers. He was cruising. He's a good player until he went to the Buffalo Bills.
And then the Packers. And
then the Chiefs, I believe. The Bills, and it wasn't like he was playing with Big Joshy down there. He was just nothing. I don't know. I'm excited to see him come back. I wish he wasn't on the Giants.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, now they've got Evan Ingram, who is not a blocking tight end, is a receiving tight end, and now they can use Kelvin as a bigger body. It'll be interesting. I'll see it.
I like it. I like
it. Did you hear about the whole Falcons Austin Pay?
Yeah, I did. This is very unfortunate.
Defensive. That honestly, imagine being so. For those who don't know, Juan Terrius Bryant.
Montarius Bryant.
He was basically on his way to Georgia this past weekend, when he arrived at the facility, he basically what happened is Montarius Bryant got a call from the Atlanta Falcons that he had a tryout and to come to Georgia to their blah 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 training facility and for a workout for a tryout basically. However, when Bryant showed up, he's a defensive back from Austin Peay, by the way. When he showed up, the Atlanta Falcons didn't know what he was talking about. They had no idea. And it turns out that Bryant somehow got duped with a fake number, and someone acted to be the Atlanta Falcons and ended up texting him that he had a workout, and he flew all the way to Georgia, all the way to go do a workout, only to figure out that the Atlanta Falcons didn't actually text him for a workout, for a tryout, and that he had been hoaxed. Man, what a terrible. So he tweeted out, "It's been a rough few days, but I felt the need to clear the air and get this off my chest. Honestly, ready to move on from this. I want to say thank you for everyone who has been in my corner while I've been pursuing my lifelong dream in the NFL. Apparently, the opportunity of attending rookie camp with the Atlanta Falcons was not a legit opportunity. Someone contacted me with a 404 code, pretended to be Teen Peace, the DC for the Atlanta Falcons. I didn't realize it was not a legit opportunity until I traveled to the facility to rookie minicamp check-in on Wednesday, May 12th. It's most definitely one of the most embarrassing things, blah, 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 blah. Just happy that the Atlanta Falcons were nice to me." What a terrible human being, whoever did this,
Yeah,
first of all.
it's like, imagine, that's what I was kind of thinking. I was trying to think how, because this isn't like a prank call. This is like, this guy well enough to have contact information and to know that he was an undrafted rookie and that he still has an agent and he's still like looking for teams and at a point where he would still actually expect a call.
What I'm saying, this wasn't like a prank call. This was a malicious. This was a very targeted malicious. Like someone tried to ruin this dude's life.
Because think of how specific it has to be. Where it's like, because if you were someone who's a bum, like not a bum, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah,
you would be suspicious. He was good enough that it would have made sense for him to go to like a rookie camp and like.
And also like it's perfect, like a defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, Atlanta Falcons desperately need defensive backs. Like it seems very real. Like maybe at the same time, how do you not like call the man and be like, hey, can I get some more information? And like
maybe it wasn't.
How do you not know?
Maybe it was like a disgruntled Falcons fan who was like, we need to get this dude. I'm gonna do it myself.
That's probably what it was. He's like, I'm gonna get him a tryout myself.
I just let him in. No one will ask, and they didn't think it through.
Just what a shitty.
Yeah, it's so
shitty.
Evil. It's
wow,
so mean. It's just
so evil.
Mean.
It's so evil. It's so evil. Also, how has this not happened more?
That's a good question.
Besides the fact that this was so detailed and so specific.
I would assume most of the time this kind of thing would be set up through an agent, and I guess he wouldn't know being a undrafted rookie.
But you would have to assume that this guy like texts his agent immediately. He's like, hey, I just got a text from blah blah blah, like workout, and the agent had to have been like, yeah. Let's go. But man, I feel bad for the kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine just being like, oh, I got to work out with the Atlanta Falcons and showing up and be like, your name's not on the list. Be like, well, I got this text message.
Yeah.
And then being like, we don't know who that is.
That's not Dean Pease.
That's not Dean Pease.
That ain't Dean Pease.
It's just not him.
Eric,
speaking
he's
of,
out of his block of ice. You're good.
Am I out of my block of ice?
Yeah.
All right. More news on players just flipping positions.
What?
Yeah.
There's more?
The running back that the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted. Remember, they already had Robinson. Or not Robinson. Yeah, Robinson. They already had another running back who was supposed to play last year but opted out. I don't know if he's still there. And then they drafted Travis Etienne something.
Oh wait,
good running back, very good running back. And now they're moving him to wide receiver. Etienne.
I know that it sounds like it's only 3 letters. That's always how I remember it. But I
Yeah.
forget now. ETN, I think.
But it's incredible running back. Very, very, very good running back. And it was kind of odd when the Jaguars all like selected him
Mm-hmm.
because it was like, well, what do you guys like? You guys don't need him. You already have running backs. But apparently, Urban Meyer's plan all along was to draft him and then make him a wide receiver. Meyer's hope is that he can turn him into another Percy Harvin.
So they want to make ETN into a receiver.
They want to make him a wide receiver for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if he's gonna be catching bombs or anything like that, but they want to make him a wide receiver.
The dude's 5'10", 205.
That's a decent size. That's like Antonio Brown size.
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit heavier.
What's his his 40s? What? Like a 4'4". Yeah.
Myers' hope is Etienne. I can't say the name. Can turn into another Percy Harvin who is one. ETN.
That's all.
It can turn into another Percy Harvin, who was one of the country's most dynamic players when he played for Florida. Harvin lined up in the backfield, in the slot, and receiver, and ran for almost 1,800 yards with 19 touchdowns and caught 133 passes for 2,000 yards with 13 touchdowns in 3 seasons for the Gators. So Percy Harvin was a fucking legend. Anyways.
The Jags wide receiver core is actually pretty interesting. So they have Chark, who's good. Chark is a very good player.
Yeah, Chark is good.
Marvin Jones Jr.
Which is a good addition.
Yeah. That'll be, and then if ETN comes in there and can play in like maybe a little slot role, maybe a little number 2, whatever they need from him. Because then you also have James Robinson still, and you have Carlos Hyde, which I did not know, but they picked up Carlos Hyde.
What a makeshift offense.
Yeah, but it might
like
just
imagine this is your starting offense. Trevor Lawrence with James Robinson and then Carlos Hyde sitting in the other backfield. Like if they ever do like a shotgun.
Yeah, sure.
Little trips. And then you've got Tim Tebow lined up at tight end. And you got DJ Chark, Marvin Jones Jr., and then your new rookie running back who's now playing wide receiver.
Second
wow.
year rookie.
Wow.
I like
that's
it.
If it works, good for them.
Crazy good.
But as we've said in the NFL, when you start putting players where they don't belong, and you put players against other professionals that have been playing their position for their whole lives, things can go wrong. I would love to see it. I would love to see like a high-powered offense just have some makeshift shit. But from what I've seen in the past from makeshift shit and just the general what I feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars this season, I think that this is going to end badly.
Hey, there's 32 teams. A couple of them are going to go wrong. At least fucking, try. It's
what's the Jags over under for wins this season? 5.5, something like that.
It was not many. I thought it was too low. I liked the over, I remember. But it's like, you know what? What else are you going to do? Take some flyers, dude. You're the Jags. You were terrible last year. All you can go is
this
up.
Is true.
Unless you don't win anything.
At least make your team exciting to watch with players, which is what they're doing, I guess.
They're gonna get that TV revenue. They're all good.
Green Bay signs another QB.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Who now?
They had a Ben Kurt.
You're not getting my guy Bortles' job. You know that.
Apparently they had him try out. Apparently they had him try out in a mini camp, and then they signed him.
You are not.
I don't know.
You will never take Blake Bortles out of Green Bay. You hear me? You will never take Blake Bortles out of Green Bay.
That now makes 4 quarterbacks on the Packers depth chart.
What? So what? Bortles, Love, whoever this guy is.
Rodgers still. Still on that depth chart.
Yeah. I don't care. Blake Bortles, baby. Bortles mania.
Ben Kurt is a former undrafted free agent with the Atlanta Falcons in 2018. He spent the 2018 and 2020 seasons on the Falcons practice squad and was injured reserve in 2019. He was released by the Falcons in February.
So
This is getting interesting.
we know he's not as good as Matt Ryan. That's
Yeah,
the only read
clearly.
I have on the guy.
So not only are the Packers begging for Aaron Rodgers to come back, literally Matt LaFleur begged for Aaron Rodgers to come back at a press conference yesterday, basically. Like
Yeah,
he literally
yeah.
said, like,
what
we need
what was
him.
the word? They desperately want
They
him.
desperately want him back in Green
Yeah.
Bay, or desperately need him,
He
or
was
something.
groveling, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It was like
So you signed.
he came
you
out to
signed Blake
Rodgers.
Bortles.
He came up the Rodgers window with an acoustic guitar, tossed some pebbles at it, and went, "Baby girl."
He just put the boombox on his shoulder. He just lifted it up. Baby, come back.
You can blame it all on me. Yeah, something like that.
So after
this is
signing
getting
Blake Bortles
weird.
and then being like, okay, like I guess we're gonna move on because we got Bortles now and Jordan Love, and like we're just gonna help Jordan Love with Blake Bortles. And then you get your coach to go on a press conference and literally say, hey, please God,
Baby,
come back. Baby, please come back. We need you. And then the same day, you sign another practice squad QB.
Dude, just sign one receiver. Just get some. Dude, just
Just
pretend.
help our
just
man.
Pretend.
Give
If you
him the
wanna
money
bet,
he
just
wants or something. This is getting ridiculous.
It's the most ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
I hope
somebody's
I hope
lying is
that
the
the
thing.
Packers.
Somebody's
I hope
lying
the
about
Packers.
something.
I hope the Packers curse themselves. I hope they're doing a Detroit Lions with Megatron type of thing. They curse themselves. They force a player out that should not be, and that the Packers are terrible for the next 20 years.
If Rodgers,
The Rodgers curse will be a real thing if this ends badly.
if Rodgers,
I can promise you.
leaves, I strongly recommend as soon as you possibly can after, big money in the Lions for the NFC North.
How dare you disrespect me like that?
All I'm just saying is, I feel like they're being heavily I think Jared Goff might be the most disrespected quarterback for no reason. Like everyone's like, oh, he's only good because Sean McVay. It's like, oh, so he's only good because what did you want to do? Play bad in a good offense? Like, what? Sorry, he had a good coach. Like, I'm sorry he went to the Super Bowl and didn't play as good as Tom Brady. He's solid.
He's got a feel good story. But yeah, the Packers, the Packers need to figure their shit out because this is getting old and I don't know what's going on and it's making me mad because I want to know what's going on. Anyways, a little feel good story. The New Orleans Saints rookie punter overcame cancer.
Wow.
And learned how to punt off of YouTube.
Wow.
Their new rookie punter. So apparently Peter Morstead's gone then, huh?
So yeah, I guess if he's actually gonna be on the roster and not just
So it was a 3-sport standard at East Greenwich High. He was scared, blah blah blah. Cooney was thrilled when he got the chance to speak with Armstrong on the phone, and when the New England Patriots cancer survivor Joe Andruzzi came to visit and let him wear his Super Bowl rings. So this is a kid that's kind of been involved a little bit. Reached his goal of returning the basketball court in time for the playoffs, just days after he finished his 2 months of chemotherapy. The scene was triumphant with the crowd chanting his name to the stands. So it was just like just cool story. Good athlete in high school, got cancer, recovered from it, and then basically wanted to be a punter. So he watched a bunch of YouTube and became an NFL player now. He replaces Morstead on the Saints.
Hey,
little feel good story on a Monday.
That is a feel good
story on a Monday.
Congratulations. I hope he
Congratulations,
picks
Nolan Cooney.
The sky.
I hope he fucking shreds the leather off the ball every single time he kicks that ball.
And I hope he has to punt a lot.
I hope he has to punt a lot and that he averages 80-yard punts and all of them are within the 3-yard line. Because good for him. I like him.
And it still can mean the Saints are doing bad. That gives them the most opportunity.
I wouldn't say a feel bad story, but a little, get your blood boiling a little bit. No. You can pick a side on this one. It's an opinion. It's an opinion story. there is a Tennessee Titans employee
Ooh.
that claims he was fired over a positive COVID test.
Ooh, this might get you fired up.
Now,
He said the C word.
he said the C word. The C word has been said. COVID. It's a scary word. But let's dig into this one a little bit, because this guy is apparently lost his job after he was told to quarantine for a positive COVID-19 test in violation of federal law.
Wait.
Paul Miller
Uh-huh.
says in the lawsuit filed Wednesday in U.S. District Court in Tennessee that he had tested positive for COVID-19 on or around November 11th and was told to quarantine. But Miller alleges he was called on or around November 20th, so 9 days after testing positive for COVID, and told he was being fired. We are reviewing the complaint, but can't comment further on pending litigation at this time, the Titans said in a statement Friday afternoon. Miller had been hired in 2019 as an assistant of some kind, practice lawsuit. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, not much information on it. It looks like, it seems like he got announced that he was positive on or around November 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And then within a 2 weeks, he was told to quarantine, and within a 2 week span, they brought him in and told him he was fired.
Now,
I don't see anything else about anything he's done. Miller wants his job back with his seniority level and back pay, as well as damages and attorney's fees. He says he also wants to stop the Titans from discriminating against any employees on the basis of disability. Okay. Well, not okay with the whole disability thing, because that's not that disability. That is just
no, but I agree. The problem isn't. I would say it probably just falls into a discrimination type lawsuit just on account of the reasons. But the main thing that I could see here being the problem is, well, first of all, obviously the problem is if a company tells you to go home for 2 weeks, you shouldn't be fired while you're quarantining
within those 2 weeks,
and the company told you that. But we also know that the NFL probably had the strangest financial positioning it's had in a long time since like the lockouts and all that. Probably the strangest and most stressful in terms of their financial positioning. So it's certainly possible, I guess, that they could have just had to fire this guy and it just happened to fall in. And then at that point, is it illegal to fire someone just because they're also sick?
Yeah, maybe they were thinking about firing him, and then he did this, and they were like, "Well, he's already home."
Yeah, I mean, or like they're just like, "Dang, we gotta." Yeah, but I guess the main thing is, if you
what I think may or may not have happened is this guy gets COVID.
Yeah.
They find out how he got COVID.
He was up to something.
I'm wondering if this dude was out at clubs and there's a video and there was he's getting a little lemon pepper wings and he's getting all jacked up on Mountain Dew out there in Nashville at those clubs and bars and stuff like that. He had a few too many whiskey cokes. He went to the Zach Brown bar a few too many times when a little maskless, and he just got COVID. But then there was a video that got leaked to the Tennessee Titans, and they were like, "Hey, man, we told you to not do things like that, and then you went and did things like that. So now you're no longer with this team." And that guy was like, "Well, you can't tell me what to do. I can wear a mask whenever I want to. Now I'm going to sue."
Yeah, and I think the other thing is
that
you can't, and obviously it's like you can't say, "Oh, the NFL has to do this because they have so much money." But like, you know what? You're an NFL team. Pay the dude for 2 more weeks and then fire him.
Yeah, just don't do it during
What's
that
he
time.
making over those 2 weeks?
You knew he was gonna do something.
And
like,
you
can't fire a dude
know it's not a good look.
God, my nose is itchy.
What? Sorry, when did this happen? When was this?
Back in November.
Okay, in November.
But now things are just kind of, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm sure he'll probably. Also, the other thing is if this is always the thing I think is funny is if you really felt like they were discriminating you and being like ableist and whatnot, it's like, why do you want your job back there then?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
Yeah,
just-
no.
you would want the
That's really
back
weird
pay
because
and then the
as soon as
compensation, and then you'd
he
find
gets
another
that
job.
as soon as he gets that job back, they're gonna be like,
It's gonna be
we don't
awkward.
want you here. Like it's gonna
It's
be
gonna
like
be awkward for sure.
no one's gonna want him there.
Because you guys are gonna see each other in court, and you're gonna
Yeah.
win, and then come into work the next day and be like, "No hard feelings, guys. I just
Hey
had to get
man,
that.
good
Just had to get
try, good try. You had
know
we had a
me,
good run
you
there.
gotta be on your grind. You gotta be on your grind. We all just grinding, man.
Yeah,
That's
this-
life, you know."
This isn't like a typical like sports matchup where you dab up the opponents after, even though you guys went through to battle against
Yeah,
each
it's
other.
not-
This is one of those like,
that's
no,
not
you
gonna
just
happen in the
you just
court.
drain me for millions of dollars. You could literally go jump off a bridge and I would not
Ugh.
care more. That's
Yeah.
how that relationship's gonna be after that. I have one more controversial thing to talk about in the NFL because the NFL, I told you, was popping this weekend. I just got
Another
one more.
one?
We're going back to Deshaun Watson. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, we gotta readdress this topic because it is an interesting one. This past weekend, a member of the team representing the woman suing the member of that team because I think they all have the same
They
lawyer.
have the same
correct?
attorney, yeah.
Okay. Recently reached out to Watson's legal team to discuss the case, according to text message and a recording reviewed by ESPN. Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, suggested Tony Busby, the attorney for the 22 women who have filed civil lawsuits, has attempted to settle the case on several occasions. So we're back to this again. We're back to the pointing and saying, no, they want to settle. No, they want to settle.
Yep.
Busby denied the claim early Friday morning in an Instagram post because we all know that the best way to get your point across is to post it on Instagram when you're talking about a case of 22 sexually assaulted women. Post it on the Instagram. Contrary to what Mr. Rusty says, we haven't approached them to settle ever, he wrote. Someone's lying. Someone's lying again. Why? The NFL is a bunch of liars right now. Bunch of
The
liars.
problem is-
Everyone's lying. Aaron Rodgers and that whole thing, there's a bunch
They're
of
up to
lying going on.
something. They're
There's
up to
something. This whole thing, there's something going on. There's something behind the scenes that someone's not telling us. And I don't know what it is. What is it? What's happening here?
Oh my gosh! Oh, hold on. Can I just say I really hope it. Deshaun, I don't. Okay. Rick, back out for a second.
Do it. Come
if
on.
Deshaun
Spit
Watson
it
will be
out.
on the Texans on week 1, it will be Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. That'll be the matchup.
That'd be pretty cool.
So just
That's-
for something for fun. If he has done any kind of crime, he should not. I don't want that. But if he
I
can
do
play,
not want him to get in trouble for any crime he did.
unless
not
he
commit.
committed it.
However, if he did commit the crime,
He
you
will
gotta
do
do
the
the time. He will do the time. He will do the time.
Yeah,
I
I
hope he
think
does.
this is like.
But man, this is just getting weird.
I think at this point it's silly to act like why throwing around settling as like a bad thing because I mean what 99% of court cases end in settling. Settling doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily even admit your guilt. There's a literal point where settling will just cost less than hiring the lawyer to prove yourself innocent. You don't even it doesn't
Yeah.
even necessarily I don't know. I
I think
I don't
think
like the way
there's
it's being treated as like an
yeah,
admission
no.
of
I
guilt.
definitely but on the other hand, whoever does settle, it's going to be whoever comes first and says, yeah, let's settle is whether like wrong, right, or not, whoever comes to settle first, everyone's going to assume that side was the wrong side. And with a case like this where there's so much skepticism or like, why now? Like, why are we just doing this now when the dude just asked for a trade and now all this shit's coming out? Like the timing is just not right. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure Deshaun Watson's like, yeah, I'll pay him $5 million and just tell him to shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sure that is a definite possibility going in the back of his head.
Mm.
But at the same time, like this dude is trying to clear a legacy.
Yeah.
And I think these women, if true, are also trying to prove a point of like, no, we aren't going to like, this was a big deal. Like if he actually did sexually assault 22 massage therapists in Houston, like, dude, like, I see why they don't want to settle. Like you're a problem. You should probably be taken care of because it's clearly you have a problem. So I can understand it from that side, but like, man, just fucking settle. Like I agree, just settle. But then someone's gonna seem like the loser, and then there's gonna be no. I feel like this is way more about the story than it actually is the money right now. This is just trying to like both sides are trying to prove a point,
Yeah.
and no one knows which side is actually the right side. Oh, like man, stupid, stupid. Want it to be done,
Yeah, agreed.
but also very excited to see how it ends.
Also agreed. Want to kick to a quick break and then come back
Yeah.
with your picks for the day?
The bets for the day when we come back.
We know
We might even
that's
have a play of the day.
Well, we will by the end of this. Let's go. See you later, fellas. We're back at it, fellas.
All right. Bets for the day. We have no NBA. Sad day.
Nuts.
We are over 60% in VIP and NBA. We're up over like 20 units in NBA and VIP. But
wow.
There is no VIP today, or for basketball. However, we do have hockey.
And we all know playoffs are easy to bet, so that'll be
According to everyone on Twitter, playoffs are way easier to bet.
Yeah, so
don't listen to them. It's not easier to bet.
No, it's not.
Capitals Bruins 7:30 tonight. Capitals hosting the Bruins again, coming off an OT win game 1. I like the Capitals here again in this spot.
Yeah.
I think game 1, the Bruins stuck around a little more than they should have. I think the Capitals are getting healthier. They've been banged up with TJ Oshie, Backstrom, Ovechkin. It seems like one of them have been out for the past month and a half or so. Like at least one of them misses every game. And now they're finally all three playing together, and they're playing well together. This team is very underrated defensively, and I think the Bruins are very good in the playoffs too. But I can see the Capitals getting out to an early lead and taking care of it. Plus, the Bruins are getting 73% of tickets and 83% of money as an away favorites. Man, home dogs in the NHL that are getting low money like that, I'll take it. I'll take another shot on the Capitals. We scored on them last time. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I like it as well.
The over-under for that game is 5.5. I would probably lean the over just by looking at how the playoffs have been going so far.
Yeah.
Besides the Vegas and Minnesota game, which literally only happened because 2 goalies decided to stand on their head and have two of the most incredible. Like seriously, I had someone text me yesterday too. One of the fellows VIP people text me and say this is the best game that Cam Talbot's ever played in his life, and I texted him back and I was like, "You're 1,000% correct." It literally was. That is the most impressive goalie performance I've ever seen. But yes, Capitals over Bruins tonight. I believe I will probably be taking that as a VIP bet. Shh, don't tell me. Second game, 8:00. Predators, Hurricanes. Hurricanes host the Predators in game 1 of this series. Hurricanes are getting 80% of tickets, 75% of money, but I think they are rightfully so. I have the Hurricanes tonight. Money line, I think it's going to be a close game. I think all of the South games are going to be very, very, very close. I think the Panthers and Tampa Bay series are going to be close all the way through. Maybe one team gets blown out one game, but other than that, those are two high-powered offenses and two teams that really, really, really want to win. And I see it this way too. I think this series reflects the Tampa Bay series a lot. I think Tampa Bay is kind of like the Hurricanes and Florida Panthers are kind of like the Predators. So I see the series ending up a lot of ways, or ending up very similar. I think Predators probably grab a couple games during the series, maybe one or two, but at the end of the day, we're gonna lean the Hurricanes. I think they move on. I don't think I'm gonna bet it just because the money's all stacked up on Hurricanes and they're getting minus 165. But yeah, the Predators will win a couple games in that series. So if you want to take a shot, get some value at plus money, that'd be worth it. Over under is 5.5. I really don't have a play for that. I don't know how this game's going to end up. This could be very well a 2-1 game, or it could be a 6-4 game. So moving on to the third and final NHL game for tonight is the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche. This line doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, I have not checked the NHL injuries, and I will right now, because this line started at the Blues being plus 160 and the Avalanche being minus 189, and now the Avalanche are minus 300 and the Blues are plus 245, which for any hockey playoff game is insane, by the way, especially right now where we only have the 1 through the 4 seed rather than the 1 through the 8. That's actually absurd, and I'll tell you why in a second once I look at these injuries, because it just doesn't quite make any sense to me. St. Louis Blues. Vladimir Tarasenko did not participate, but his status for Monday's series remains uncertain. So Tarasenko is uncertain. Dunn is uncertain. David Perron is uncertain. Jaden Schwartz and Colin Parayko. So yes, that is why they're getting absolutely shit on the line. They have a lot of injuries, and I'm sure Grubauer is starting. 1, I'd be taking the under in this game. Grubauer is nuts. The over is getting all the money. 2, I'd be taking the Blues plus 1.5 or plus 2.5 in this game. Do not take the Colorado Avalanche at minus 300. That is a ridiculous line for the playoffs, and especially a team that's getting 98% of the money. That's absurd. I'd be taking the Blues plus 1.5 or plus 2.5 today. You might be able to get plus 2.5 at plus 1.5 is probably. Let me check. Plus 1.5 is. So the Blues plus 1.5 is minus 112, which means plus 2.5 is like minus 200, but it's still a better line than Colorado. Just don't bet on that game, or bet the under. The under is a solid bet as well. Just don't bet that game.
Just don't.
It's game 1 in the series. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's game 1. It's just not worth it. Yeah, only 3 NHL games tonight. They're going to be great games. Again, if you are not a fan of the NHL normally, but you're a fan of sports, you like watching sports, you need to turn on the NHL playoffs. The past 2 days have just reiterated my point. Almost all games have gone to OT. All games have been ridiculous. Goalies are playing out of their mind. People are playing. It's incredible. Playoff hockey. Nothing better.
Nothing better.
Nothing better.
Gotta love it.
We move on to MLB. Sean, who are we betting on in MLB? Should we bet on the Twins?
Oh, hey.
No, we're not betting. We're
Hayes,
not betting on the Twins.
congratulations
Oh, hang on.
to
Yeah, help me.
Alec.
Yesterday on Twitter, no sound. Someone has no sound.
Who has no sound?
I don't know. Someone has no sound. Skins fan forever. No sound.
Not anymore. He's not. I don't know. It looks like we have sound.
I'm looking at our feed. Hang on. Hang on. Can I hear myself? Can I? Yeah, I can hear it. Skins fan, you're a weirdo.
No. Skins fan, you just gotta check your volume or something. I don't know what's happening, but
Yeah, that's on you, because I can hear myself in my own feed.
I hope.
Let's see. No, I replayed it and I could hear myself. So.
Rondo could hear us. Rondo would have told us.
Yeah, Rondo would tell us. All right. Who are we betting on in MLB? Damn. Who are we betting on in MLB?
MLB for the day.
My Mariners are getting
lineup.
favorited. My Mariners are getting favorited tonight.
That's when you let them go. If you love something,
that's got to be the time that we fade them. If the one dark horse of the season's finally getting favorited, that's the time you just let them go. Let them run free. Who we are going to bet on tonight? We're gonna fade the Dodgers tonight, I think.
You think so? Big D-backs kind of night.
It's a big D-backs kind of night. The Dodgers are getting 92%, which is just too much money. Yesterday, by the way, in VIP, we took. Oh, who did we took yesterday? Oh, we took the Mariners. And we took. Oh, that's gonna bother me. Hang on, I have it up. All picks Sunday. Heyfellas.co, by the way. Heyfellas.co. Oh, and the Angels. The Angels and Mariners yesterday. Both teams were getting like 5% of money, so we decided to take both, and they both won. Seemed pretty simple.
Easy money.
But today we don't have many teams getting money like that, so this one might. We might have to go Texas Rangers too at a plus 245 money line against the Yanks, the struggling Yankees, the trash franchise with the trash fan base.
Ew.
Because they're the Yankees and we hate them. Oh, Garrett Cole's pitching today. That's why. That damn Garrett Cole. That guy's good at throwing a baseball, I tell you what. Also, a lot of allegations coming out this year, Sean, of pitchers cheating.
What are they doing? They got some pine tar on their face?
There's been a lot of zoomed in cameras and a lot of sticky fingers coming off those gloves. A lot of sticky fingers. They're getting really good at it though.
Someone's got an itch behind the ear before they
They've been so normally like on
eyebrow.
the glove. So they either put it on the brim of the hat so they go like this, or they put it on the thumb of the glove so that they can go like this and grab it. But they've been doing it in much different places than I've ever seen it before. I've seen pine tar like down on the palm where guys are like grabbing the baseball and actually like as they have the baseball in their hand, they're scratching their glove too. Like guys are getting really, really like even slow motion, like zoomed in cameras are barely catching this shit. But like the MLB knows this is going on. They know this is going on.
Yeah, it's if we know about it.
So do they do something to stop it though?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so. I think
so. My thing is like with all the sign stealing, with all the shit, with all everything that's been going on. Wait, hang on.
Like I got
with everything going on, like, can we give the pitchers a little bit of an advantage too?
I mean, here's the thing.
I mean, we got sign stealing, we got pitchers reading, we got all this shit going on by the batters to try and make the hitting the baseball easier, which is already the hardest freaking thing to do ever. But like, do I feel bad that pitchers got a little pine tar on their hand? Not really.
No, I don't care. But the thing is, it's like, you know what? The one rule that always comes with anything to do with cheating is it's only cheating if you get caught. So just
Yeah.
keep being more creative. Because honestly, if it makes the game better, like, hey, let's see some crazy, but just don't get caught.
Just don't get caught. It's pretty easy. And not gonna lie, they are doing a very good job of not getting caught.
Yeah.
It is a very hard thing to see. But at the same time, the other team has full discretion at any time to be able to check the pitcher's glove. You're allowed to at any time during the game.
I think we're probably going to see. Because this happens in little streaks where people kind of forget about it, and then a bunch of pitchers will start doing it. I think you're just going to see a bunch of people actually start calling out pitchers, and then it'll probably slow down. Or they come up with a better way to do it. And that could also be interesting. Who knows? Not me. But yeah, I honestly, that kind of thing, I always I'm not as mad about something like that. I don't think it's as bad as, like,
trash cans and
the trash
sensors
can,
and
like
beepers
all of that.
and
If it's something with the dude on the field with a little bit of sticky icky, like, what's the worst? Whatever.
Yeah, I like it. I think and I also think it, like, brings another part of the game. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, gotta hide your pine tar.
But yeah,
you gotta hide your pine tar.
It has to be illegal. It could never just
better
be
get
allowed.
creative.
It
No.
has to be hidden. And if you get caught, you have to be like, yeah. No,
You get suspended. You get suspended for a little while.
Yeah, that's like,
You get
it's a little
suspended
risk.
for a little
High
while.
risk, high reward. Like, it's
I like it.
Little gamble.
It adds. It adds a little entertainment to the game. It really does. It's just like hey, you can do it, but if we catch you, you're in big trouble. Because like, all pitchers are doing it at some point. There's so many pitchers in the league that have got some kind of sticky something somewhere located where they can just quickly get just even a little bit of traction on that threading. And I mean, with these, to be fair, like, I don't blame them with the juice Super Bowls and the MLB now of people just blasting. Like, they literally made baseballs differently now so they can be blasted out and home runs and stuff. Like, sure, shit, give the pitchers something. Everyone's been cheating against the pitchers for a while. Like, give them something too. Why not?
If you ever want to watch some funny, it's just like, when your brain doesn't work hold on, because my brain's currently not working. When your brain's just turned
every
off.
day.
When your brain's just turned off and you just want to watch, like, some random sports highlights.
Yes, that happens quite
Baseball
often.
cheaters. Baseball cheating
cheaters
is one of the best. Like, just watch some of those compilation things. It's so funny because it's either the dudes will be super heated and just throwing an absolute fit, like, oh, what is this? This isn't anything. This is my hand, bro. Like, or they'll just be like,
my favorite one ever is who is it? Who's got he had, like, sandpaper in his back pocket, right?
Yeah, to give him.
He was filing down.
Yeah.
He was filing down something, and they come out to check his back pocket, and he, like, empties his pockets at the same time and, like, throws it out to try and, like, somehow get it to not be found, even though he literally just took an object out of his back pocket and, like, chucked it. And all the umps are, like, looked at the object on the ground. They're like, right there, and he's like, I don't know, man. It was just in my pants. Like, it was just. Before this, I was sanding my derby car for the race, and
right.
I guess I just left it in my back pocket on accident.
Man, that's some great stuff.
We need to start betting on the WNBA.
Doesn't it kick off?
It already has.
This weekend, right? Kicked off.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, we can.
It's already in full force, honestly.
Let's go. Oh,
I just need to
kicking off this weekend. The Africa bat was it?
Yes.
Basketball.
J. Cole
What's
went
it called?
3
I always forget what it's actually called.
African.
I feel like I always think it's African Basketball League, but I don't think that's what it is. Basketball Africa League. Hey, did you see the one highlight he had?
No, I did not.
Oh, dude.
Was it any good?
Yeah, so for the Rwanda Patriots, right?
Yeah.
I believe there was like a tipped pass, I believe it was like a tipped pass, some kind of little something or other. Turnover, fast break. Guy on the Rwandan Patriots has it. It's a one-on-one. J. Cole's trailing. Goes up. Contested layup. Off the rim. J. Cole comes back. Catches it. his back's at like a 45-degree angle, one hand, and then just lays it in.
Ooh.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And you know, he's got that long hair. He looks like he'd be just playing in like a mystical way. He was just playing in a mystical way. He was scoring. He was playing ball. I love to see it, and it was a pretty good ball. It was pretty fun to watch.
I like it. I like that. I hope he's good.
I wonder, I'm gonna try to pull that clip up. I'm gonna see if let's try to get some clips going.
But I heard the opening weekend of the African Basketball League was actually a huge success.
It was really good ball.
I saw a lot of talk about it, and I didn't really see. I mean, besides like ESPN being like, "Oh, J. Cole went 3-3-2 in 17 minutes," and people being like, "So." But like, dude, that's also a dude who's like literally at the top of the rap industry, who's also now playing professional ball. Like, hey, let's give him a little bit of credit. Like, I get it, he went 3-3-2 in 17 minutes, but also like, he's now playing professional basketball at a serious professional level.
He plays a support role as well. If you're watching the Rwanda Patriots, you just knew he was there to have everyone's back. Like, he wasn't trying to take on the whole game. Come on now, that's not your main.
Yeah, no. I feel like that's definitely not his.
In the rap game, he goes platinum with no features, but on the court, he's just dishing.
He loves his features on the court.
Only
dude, he's gonna drop the most fire album after the season. By the way,
dude, he dropped
you know how many
sick.
Fun. You know how many sick bars he's gonna have after this league is done? How many like lines he's gonna have just about the shit that he did?
Balling like I'm in Rwanda.
He's gonna have some shit to say, and it's gonna be freaking good.
It is. I mean, he dropped a fire album before too. He did it and then left. That's the craziest thing. Like
at this point, there's nothing he can't do in my line.
Like he'd probably like the dude. I gotta respect the dude. The dude does not. He's not on like his album release party stuff. He's not on any of that. Like, cause I guarantee you, he had to quarantine to play in a basketball league in Africa. Because his album came out Friday and he played the game Sunday.
He did have to quarantine.
So I'm sure he wasn't at some crazy thing Friday night. Like, the dude would rather be playing. He's like, I'm dropping this album, then I'm getting on this plane, and then I'm flying to Africa, and then I'm quarantining, and then I'm playing basketball. Why? I want to.
Because I want to.
Yeah, like, it's sick.
Because I just want to.
Good for J. Cole.
I'm here for it. I hope he does well. I hope that the African Basketball League does well because I think it's a really cool idea.
I think
it sounds like it's going to do well.
I think the more and more international leagues we have for basketball, the better. It's becoming such an international sport, and I think that's been the rise in popularity and just the amount of good players that we've been seeing in the league is absolutely goes hand in hand with the international attention and the international talent we've been pulling from. It's fantastic for the league.
Yeah, I mean, if you think there's not enough talent internationally for the NBA, you're just wrong. Like, look at some of the best, like literally the best stars in our league aren't from the U.S.
And exactly. The stars in our league, and you watch like, you know, if there was ever an international tournament for basketball, it was like USA and then whoever else wants to play, but you guys won't win it.
Yeah.
Now it's like obviously not running like our Olympic roster, whatever you want to call like our best players. But even like we don't always win everything. We don't. There's some really good squads out there.
The U.S. is definitely not. I mean, the powerhouse it was in basketball. It was 10 years ago. Like there's considerable forces now of other teams. Like Australia has a damn good team.
They really
Australia
do.
is a very good basketball team. Serbia is starting to get a very good basketball team. Greece is going to be a very good basketball team. Like, there's a lot of teams out there. There's also a lot of countries out there that have like a couple good star players, the obvious ones, but like surrounded by a couple more, they could actually do some damage. Australia has such a good basketball team. I think their woman has a really good basketball team too.
Australia's one, yeah, probably.
Let's kick it to one more break. Come back with the last stories of Monday. Last 20-ish, 15, 20 minutes or so.
All right, sounds good to me. I think we'll kick it and we'll just put on a little music. We'll let it slide, and we'll be right back after these.
The last of Felches.
Okay, bye bye. Hey, fellas, we're back
Ellers.
as we close out this marvelous Monday. A little alliteration. We had a couple. These are just these are interesting. End of the day,
The college scene was interesting this weekend.
there's a little bit of action in college, and the funny thing is, both of them have to do with a sport not being played in college anymore. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
So the big news is that Stanford. This came out at the beginning of the weekend, I think on Friday. So Stanford has planned to eliminate 11 of their teams, including men and women's fencing, field hockey, lightweight rowing, men's rowing, co-ed and women's sailing, squash, synchronized swimming, men's volleyball, and wrestling are all expected to be eliminated from Stanford's sports. Athletes from 8 of these teams are suing now. This is finally they are going for a lawsuit claiming that the athletic department was deceiving students, and they had a secret plan. This is a quote. They had a secret plan to eliminate varsity teams from the students and their families in order to fraudulently induce the students to choose to attend and remain at Stanford rather than pursue their dreams and play at the varsity level at another institution. Damn. They're spitting facts. They're pissed.
That is actually so. When you first said that they were suing, I was like, "That's stupid." But under the grounds of what they're suing is, it actually makes.
That's
a lot
what
of
I
sense.
was saying. I thought it might be just some okay, like
that
Title
sounds
IX,
really, really. Yeah, that sounds really
sounds like
dumb.
there was deception and fraud involved.
Until that part, because even if that's not what Stanford tried to do, was deceive and decept, the point still stands where Stanford said, "Come play for us. We will give you a full right or whatever the scholarship is, and you can play here." But now they're eliminating those teams. So you kind of promise something that you're not fulfilling now. And that is grounds to sue when you're making a career decision.
So, yeah. And this is actually not the only. There's a second lawsuit Stanford is also facing for a very similar issue. 5 of the women's teams are also filing for Title IX violations, that's actually what I expected it to be the first time. But that always gets very hairy in the Title IX in college sports, and it always.
But they're dropping the same amount of sports on each side, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not gonna be much
but
grounds for that.
there still is Title IX law that protects, I believe. I think it has to do with the promise of the sport being there, the actual stay of it and all.
Because there's basically 3 levels of Title IX, 3 categories, and you have to pass one of them.
Right.
So
probably
it'll be interesting to see that.
Yeah, it's in one of them, but who knows?
I do have a good friend from high school who actually wrestles for. He's a year younger than us. He actually wrestles for the Stanford team, and this has been going on for a while. This has been going on since about COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
Because Stanford was one of the first people to really pull a lot of their sports, a lot of their seasons. And they didn't even, when Stanford pulled wrestling, it wasn't even for the season kind of thing. It was a permanent. They started off saying we're just going to cancel. We're just not going to have a wrestling team anymore. It wasn't even we're just going to take the season off. They were no, we're done with wrestling. I don't know if it was the case for those other 10 sports as well, but I know that was the case for wrestling. And which is ridiculous because, I can understand the squash. I can understand maybe the sailing and stuff like that. But Stanford's wrestling program is ginormous.
Yeah, that was one of the ones.
Very, very elite and coveted wrestling program that probably maybe it doesn't make money because it's wrestling, but it can't cost them that much money. It does pretty well compared to all the other sports that I heard.
And compared to other wrestling programs as well.
Yes, they are they're I think a top 20 wrestling program, and they have been for a very, very long time.
That surprised me a lot. Seeing men's volleyball on there surprised me a lot.
Because Stanford also has a very good volleyball.
Seeing field hockey on there was surprising.
And rowing.
And the rowing, men's rowing and all lightweight rowing.
So just crew is just gone.
But then I think the problem always ends is I think it's just tough picking out what teams you have to get rid. It's really tough.
The tough part is the Title IX. And
it does because it's
I think that's probably why wrestling is going.
I'm sure wrestling
that's
would
the
not...
one level. I'm sure what they're doing is is they're taking out probably more women's sports.
No, yeah. Well,
that
I
are
think they
that are
have to do
less
this.
that are less achieving, and what they're doing is they're taking out men's squash, men's volleyball. They're taking out all the men's sports that don't do shit, and then covering it up probably with wrestling because that's where they get their weight back in the Title IX.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
so
they have enough
it's-
money and enough stuff that goes into wrestling where if they cancel that, it
So
shows big on that side.
There's 5 men's teams, 5 women's teams, and 1 co-ed team out of the 11. So that's what it is. They couldn't do one more than the other, and that's like one of the things where it's like, how
They also had to eat.
How
They also had to eat. That's the problem with Title IX. That's the one problem that Title IX has is there's 3 levels to get it accomplished.
right.
You either have the same amount of, so there's one where it's reflection of school. So if you have only 35% women, you only have to have 35% of women's sports.
Okay.
Or it's within like a 4% range. That's one of the ways. Another one of the ways is if your school isn't 50-50 on their sports, you have to show a legitimate effort to where you're trying to get them to 50-50 sports. And that's where most colleges where they lay in.
Because most of them have a football team and they don't have a women's football team.
But then they have a women's fencing
Right,
and
and
like Temple,
hockey,
where we have a football
yeah.
team. There's a women's fencing team. There's a women's field hockey team.
Women's
There's
track,
a women's.
but there's no men's track.
Yeah. So that's how they I think that's what the wrestling is. Honestly, I think that's the other side of it. And then the third way is if there is no, let's say Temple has a women's fencing team, which we do. It's very good. Let's say it's not very good at all, and there's no interest to play fencing at Temple University for women. They can pull that sport without it going against Title IX. Right. But if even one student complains about it and like writes a letter and has backing on it, they can get it reestablished. So that is the 3 ways of Title IX. So it looks like they're just doing the simple way of, we take out a men's sport, we're going to take out a women's sport too.
Yep.
I'm going to guess with the money, the wrestling was the tip of the top, because I'm sure that program makes more money than just about every single else on that list.
If you combined every other sport on the list, I guarantee you
I'm sure it's just
and not even talking about the money, like just in terms of like the legacy, just like value to the school, that kind of thing. So here's just another thing. So 35 Division I schools have planned or have announced plans or have actually started acting on plans to either indefinitely suspend or downgrade more than 100 teams right now. About 24, 25 have since been repealed due to, outlash, people getting mad from the community, petitions, all that good stuff. A lot of them came from the threat of Title IX lawsuits or similar lawsuits to the one going on here. This is just the first one that has not been figured out beforehand. But that still leaves about 70 to 80 sports up in the air, 11 of which are here at Stanford. So definitely something to follow. I doubt this will be the only lawsuit coming as a result.
Oh, there's going to be so many on this next season. Teams are going to be canceling so many. I mean, and I don't blame Stanford at the end of the day, because I know you lost so much money during COVID and stuff.
But you know what? I don't care. Like, what the heck?
Yeah,
you got
like,
so much money. You're Stanford. If you could get one person to donate, one of your alums to donate, you'll cover all those. You'll cover synchronized swimming for the next 5 years. Like, come on. I don't want to hear it. You got that. And you look at some of the teams that after there was backlash from the students and student athletes, and then also threats of Title IX lawsuits. Clemson, Iowa, Brown, and Dartmouth are among the ones that have reinstituted most of their teams. And you see Brown and Dartmouth both in there.
And they do not have the money that Stanford does.
They're like, so come on, Stanford. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, trees. Get it together.
I'm telling you, the wrestling thing's been going on for about a year now, and I don't know if they've made a lot of headway.
I can't imagine. I don't think they'd be suing if they weren't. If they hadn't done. Oh man, it's bad.
Stanford wrestling is equivalent to, like, I'm trying to think of. It would be like a big East Coast school field hockey team. Like if some East Coast school is really big into field hockey or something like that, that's the equivalent to wrestling in Stanford. Like all the other sports kind of make sense a little bit because I'm just like, I can see where they don't pull in the money, but man, pulling wrestling from Stanford is crazy to me. Like as someone who's been in like a big, because all my friends back in high school wrestled. My dad was a wrestler. Like being around the wrestling scene and just knowing what Stanford wrestling is, like that's absolutely crazy that they pull that sport. That's damn near pulling football from some schools.
Yeah, it's truly crazy. And so that's some bad news for college athletics, depending on for both sides you could be on.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Now this is, in my opinion, and I know this is controversial stuff. In my opinion, this is great news. I don't know how many people would. I think this is great news. As you know, the G League has becoming more and more and more of a legitimate alternative for ball players coming out of high school that maybe want to get paid. Maybe they want to develop professionally as an athlete. You know, maybe they don't want to go for the college experience. Maybe they're like, I want to ball, and I want to make an actual salary right now, and I want to be on a path straight to the NBA. And it's starting to actually happen now. You know, before in the past years, we've seen people getting overseas, you know, so the ball bros, all that. Now, this is the second 5-star recruit this year. Jaden Hardy, a player with offers from Kentucky, with offers from UCLA, Arizona. Number 2 ranked prospect behind Czech Holmgren, Gonzaga commit now. Second best prospect in America. McDonald's All-American. He didn't even play in the high school season that he got made an All-American in. The Nevada canceled the season and he was still an All-American.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, he's the second.
So how does that work? Does he get like drafted to the G League, or does he just sign with whoever he wants to sign with?
So there is a team called the Ignite, and that is essentially on their professional pathway program. That is like the team that they put all of the big boys on.
Okay.
So the Ignites, I'm pretty sure the Ignite is like the G League team, the G League All-Stars, essentially.
Who are they an affiliate of?
I don't think.
Do they not have like a pro team affiliation?
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have any affiliation.
It's just the All-Star team.
It's like, yeah, it's the developmental basketball team within the G League, not on anyone. I guess that's how they do it. They take rookies, essentially high school kids, like 18-year-old dudes.
So that must be how they get away from like not drafting someone straight out of high school on actual G League teams. Is anyone who does that just goes to that team in general.
Yep. So yeah, Ignite, and the last year was the first time they had the Ignite. They saw a ton of really good prospects come join the squad. I believe they make like actual money.
Yeah, they make enough to support them at least.
Oh yeah, I think it's
more than they would in college.
So Jalen Green.
That'd be close to 6 figures, right?
Wow. Jalen Green made $500,000 signing to the Ignite. Which imagine, right?
Dude, if you're a college NBA, or like you're thinking about taking a trip and then you're only going to play in college for 1 year anyways, why not go to the G League? You're not getting a degree. $500,000.
You're not, yeah, exactly.
No, you're not getting a degree. And none of those guys are getting degrees.
So this is also not. There's also been the 7th highest ranked prospect, another 5-star recruit, has already also signed to the Ignite, and the top prospect out of China, Fanbo Zheng, also a 4-star recruit, is playing on the Ignite after he decommitted from Gonzaga.
Whoa. Yeah, dude, honestly, the NCAA is going to have to figure this shit out because the NBA is already figuring it out. It's just a matter of time before the NFL figures it out. I don't think the NFL wants to do something like this because the NFL is a very big learning curve between college and pros in high school.
And also, college football is just like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
just
It's a
monstrous.
scary. I would not want to mess with trying to take that, or
Yeah.
people would get so mad.
But if the NCAA keeps fucking up like this,
They really can't stop. It's
they
incredible.
can't
And
stop it.
I think with the NBA or just basketball, it works a lot better. I think because I mean you see like the dude top guy from China last year. You know, there was rising Filipino dudes. There was from international. Maybe it makes sense that some dude who's like doesn't speak English and like hasn't been in America shouldn't have to immediately come and like hop into a university, which is like,
Just hop into like the system, which is not a
Yeah,
system built
like,
for their.
I feel like it's so much better to acclimate them to the
Like,
sport
dude,
and to like the
Luca
culture.
was Luca when he came to the NBA because of what he did beforehand.
Yeah,
LaMelo is LaMelo right now because of what
Exactly.
he did beforehand.
So,
They're
like-
not playing against fucking D2 teams half the time. They're playing against professional athletes at all times,
Right.
even if those professional athletes are not
They're
NBA
old.
professionals.
Yeah, they're older dudes or they're not from.
They're
yeah.
still
But-
professional
and
basketball
now
players.
and now it's like we take all of the best developed mental dudes, put them on the same team, let them really work with dudes, and then make them play against dudes fighting for NBA roster spots.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
a great
fantastic
idea.
And
Now, the one thing-
yeah, I don't know.
The one thing that the G League needs to combat is because it's the only thing that college basketball has left is March Madness. You have to figure out how to publicly make
it's gonna
a
be hard.
tournament to where people can see these young players. Because if I'm a young player, the thing I'm thinking about is like, okay, do I go to the G League for a year or two, make my money, whatever, but get no publicity, basically, no publicity. But if you play for Baylor or Gonzaga and you make the tournament and you're in March Madness and you have millions and millions and millions and millions of people watching because it's March Madness and that's just what you do during March, just watch March Madness. Like there's an aspect to that too, where if the NCAA can get to a point where basketball players can get sponsored, and then March Madness is still what March Madness is now, I think you're going to see the tides turn back to the NCAA's favor a little bit, because those guys can get massive sponsorships through March Madness and things like that. Now, I don't know if the NCAA will get there.
But here's the thing. They can't take the money. They can't accept any money. You could if you
The
can
NCAA has to figure out.
As soon as you like, if you're on the Ignite and anyone offers you money, you can take it and you have a salary. And it's, I don't know. I think and the biggest thing was always, you could always do something like this. Obviously, the Ignite team didn't always exist, but you could always go overseas. You could always play G League.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I think more so than any kind of actual reasoning is just the stigma behind it, because you're not the top prospects.
Like you're not getting
don't
noticed.
do
You're
that.
not. Yeah, no one cares like that kind of.
But
thing.
now the top prospects are doing it, and I think that is going to be the domino that needed to fall for this to be huge.
Yeah.
There is a G League playoffs happen in March, the real March Madness. The Lakeland Magic won it. They're a 6 seed. This is a crazy tournament. It's crazy. You should have seen this.
You should have seen this.
I was just looking at the G League.
I watched
website.
every game.
This is the most right now. 45% of players on NBA rosters have played in the G League at some point, which is a record.
Wow.
This is just a great little list.
It's probably just gonna keep growing too.
Van Vliet, Duncan Robinson, Christian Wood, Clint Capella, Pascal Siakam, Devontae Graham, Rudy Gobert,
These
Dennis Schroeder.
All sound like people that would have come from like a G League type of thing. These are all like all those guys have very much things in common.
Yeah, Scary Terry, Chris Middleton, Spencer Dinwiddie, Derek White, Jordan Clarkson, C.J. McCollum, Derek Jones, Hassan Whiteside, Shake Milton, Kendrick Nunn, Danny Green, Rocco, Lou Williams, T.J. Warren, Justin Holiday, Corey Joseph, Montrez.
You know what's really
Harris.
interesting?
What's that?
Very few of the names that you just said are lazy basketball players.
Exactly. None of them
they're
are
all like hustle stats.
every one of
basketball
them,
players.
dude. And they're all super like well-rounded players too. None of them are like exactly. None of them are like just absolute pushovers on defense.
Yeah, there's really no names that came across there that I would think that
These are some of the best defenders in the league. Literally, one of the Rudy Gobert's on here. Some of the best.
Well, Robo's on there too.
Clint Capella, boards all day. Rocco's on there, yeah. Just like Lou Williams. I mean, one of those dudes that's just always grinding. It's great. I think this will be.
Maybe the G League. Maybe it's just the G League, and we'll see with LaMelo. I mean, it already looks like LaMelo's going to be a star. I just think that transition from already professional basketball, which if you don't want to consider G League professional, you're an idiot, because it is. But I just think, man, like talking with people who have been high up in NBA and like just asking them, like what makes a basketball player like so good, and it's almost every single time it's just experience against top players. Like, it's one thing to come straight out of high school into the college, or like to be the LeBron, but even LeBron had a learning curve too. Like everyone does. There's a couple of years in the pros where if you haven't played against professional athletes, you have to just learn how it works. Like no one really comes out of their first year and just fucking balls the shit out,
right?
Unless you're Zion, and because you're just bigger than everyone.
The style of play completely relies on a different skill set, because once you're not 18, 19, the way you're going to play
running down the court and sprinting down.
Exactly. And you can maybe take advantage of dudes, and that's why you'll see guys have a crazy rookie year, a crazy sophomore year, and then slump and then never be the same. There's there's the developmental of playing a professional sport over just playing it,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We ran late today.
A little bit. But when you're talking big time stuff,
when you're talking top controversy, the most controversial
controversies. Let's go Blue Coats.
A lot to talk about.
Delaware Blue Coats.
Delaware Blue Coats, huh?
Yep.
I think I've disassociated from the Timberwolves G League team as well. Actually, that's how done I am. I don't even like our G League team anymore. Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. I will say before we go, it does seem kind of unfair that all the really, really good players are going to put on one G League team. I think they might win the championship next year.
Is it all the good players or all the new players?
All the new players.
Like, I don't think they're going to be the best team. I think just because you have a bunch of 5-star prospects doesn't mean you're the best team. There's a lot of other people. There's a lot of other teams in the G League with old guys who want to make their way back to the NBA that I think will pound the shit out of that team. However, they will be exciting to watch.
But man, like, I get it. You've been grinding your shit out, trying to get up there. That's all fine. But man, like the second best dude in high school, and now the whole country comes in, he might ball on you. He might break your ankles.
Yeah, he might have a couple.
I don't know what the rest of the team's made up of. I'm gonna do some more research in it because this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Well, fellas, it was a great Monday.
Great Monday.
As
so
always,
much to talk
great Mondays
about.
are.
I
love coming off the weekend.
Can't wait for some more.
Man, no NBA tonight. Hopefully, someone does something stupid in the NBA so we can talk about it tomorrow because someone's always doing something stupid in the NBA.
Yep.
NHL playoffs. Watch them. Just watch them. Just one game
hockey
for one
yesterday.
One period. One
today.
One game, one period. Just watch some hockey tonight. Playoff hockey is here. It won't be here for very long, and when it's gone for a year. So watch your damn playoff hockey. It's incredible, and this year is just even better because we're just playing against a bunch of teams that have already played against each other, and it's gonna be electric. Another electric night in the NHL.
I mean, dang it. Every single game yesterday was a one-score game. Like, come on, just hop in on this. Watch this stuff. 3
out of the 4 playoff games have gone to OT, and the one that didn't ended up 5-4 and a comeback win.
Come on now.
Like, guys, it doesn't get better. Like, it's the best sports to watch, right? It's the best sports to watch. It's just easy. Watch the damn hockey. Do the damn hockey.
Do the hachi.
Go wild.
Anything else? Go wild, I guess.
Go wild. Let's just go wild. Go wild and sell it to T-Wolves. Closing remarks on the day.
Sorry.
While they're going to win the Stanley Cup, Minnesota should be in Seattle by this time next year.
Seattle, wow. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, fellas. Remember,
see you at 10 o'clock
if
sharp.
You want any of the merchandise that we're wearing right now or anything else that looks cool, it's all on the website. All on the web.
And so is the VIP picks, which
up
I
there.
have been killing it for 2 months now.
Yeah, heyfellas.co. You want the VIP picks, you want the merchandise, you just want to chat with the fellas, you want to chat with us, put something on the forum, ask some questions.
Put something on the forum.
Do it.
That's a
That's
lot.
free. Literally,
there.
just go make an account and you can go
heyfellas.co.
ask some questions on the forum. We can go chat sports all day. It's not limited to 10 to 12. That's just where we're
Yeah.
on here on the
We
internet.
do this all day. This is just a little
Chit-chatting.
2-hour clip that everyone gets to see.
Yep.
Heyfellas.co.
Heyfellas.co.
Look at VIP. If you
Check
need some
it
help with picks, look at the VIP.
Check
Look
it
at the
out.
results.
We're here
God,
to
we're
help.
fucking good. We're here to help you.
Oh,
We're here to entertain you, and we're here to help you. That's what we do.
filthy. We got a letter from the mayor of Vegas. He said, please stop.
He said, please stop. You're costing us way too much money. Please stop.
We will
Every single
not.
time there's a fella that enters Vegas, we lose money. And we said, sorry, boss. Nothing we can do.
Sorry, Hoss, man.
We're here for the fellas, not for you. That's just the way it is.
Hey, we're here for the fellas, not for you.
We're here for the fellas, not for you.
Let's
Fuck
go.
you, Vegas.
All right.
All right, fellas. Everyone
Powerful
have
way
an
to
amazing
end it.
Monday. 10 o'clock tomorrow. See you then.
See you then. Bye-bye.